My name is Coach Lee. I'm a social connections coach. I help people make more meaningful connections in their personal and professional life. And does my hair look okay? Because I'm always like, does it look good? But always it looks good, right? Somebody actually asked me, how do I get such a fresh afro? Just a little pat, little here, there. But for real, my name is Coach Lee, social connections coach, and I want to help you make more meaningful connections in your personal and professional life. And I want to thank you so much for joining me here today for this live stream. It's about making meaningful connections with coworkers or with stop networking and start connecting. So it's more so with business partnerships and building your networks of people who care about you and your well-being. That said, shoot. So I'm trying this new thing, restream.io. It's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. It's pretty great. All right. So I hope to be streaming both on LinkedIn and on YouTube at the same time. So this is my first time using it, and it's been quite an adventure trying to set this up, but there are so many fun things to do with it. But I know this is not about it. This presentation or this live is not about me praising repurpose.io. It's about me helping you get more meaningful connections. So let's start doing that. Let's start doing that. So let's see. Boom. Welcome to Stop Networking and Start Connecting, building supportive relationships that will level up your business and get you a tangible return. What I want to do is take some time to, oh man, there's so many things going on here. Acknowledge that there are so many things going on here. And with this being my first time, I'm doing great, of course. Positive reinforcement, that's all we need in our lives. Positive reinforcement. All right, looking to the left, looking to the right. Am I doing it out of sight? Boom. All right, so, all right. Yeah, so who am I? Well, let's figure that out. The configuration. I thought this would be a lot simpler because I've been used to giving so many presentations. I love it. Just messing around for a minute. I love it. All right. Who am I? Well, I'm Coach Lee. Oh, show. All right. I want to see your face and I want to tell my story. I want to tell my story here. Who am I? Well, I'm a social connections coach and I help people make more meaningful connections. And when I first started my business, I hired a business coach and they stayed on to get me started. They helped me get a bit of clarity about what I needed. And overall, I really did learn that I needed to create content. And so I did. For a year, I created content and I threw my information out there on the internet, hoping that I'll get some tangible returns. So I spent a year posting on these different social medias vehemently. I've been posting and posting and hoping people will discover me and then they buy my services. But I didn't get a single sale, not one. I knew I had a great service and I knew it was needed, but I had no idea what I was doing wrong. And then I started networking. And 2 months after I started networking, I got my first 2 clients. Now, I didn't sell to those people that I networked with over those 2 months. What I did do is discover what I had been missing. It's the interpersonal relationships that I've created with other business owners that really helped me grow and learn. So I'd be curious, what were your experiences with networking? How do you feel about networking? How do you feel about networking? Is it boring? Is it difficult? Is it scary? Is it frustrating? Is it a waste of time? A lot of us know that it's necessary and we need it, but we're afraid to do it because we don't know what to talk about. We don't know how to show up. In this presentation, I want to help you out with that. So I want to ask you really quick, I have a quick poll for you. Quick poll. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this, after the live, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Please just leave a comment. So what are the most important topics when it comes to when it comes to networking, or when it comes to being in a place? What stops you from being comfortable with networking? Is it one, describing your business clearly and concisely? You're afraid you can't do that. Is it two, you don't know how to discover who your referral partners are? Is it three, you don't know how to ask for referrals or introductions? And four, is it maintaining a relationship after networking? Because sometimes we'll meet people and we might not have such a fear of talking to people, or we might get roped into a conversation that feels really good to us and we want to keep talking to that person. But how do you initiate? How do you continue to connect with them, stay connected with them after you leave the event, whether it be virtual or whether it be in person? How do you stay connected to them? It's important to maintain that relationship if you want referrals that are going to help you in your business. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are, what's most important. A lot of people talk about number one, which is why it's probably number one, describing your business clearly and concisely is difficult for a lot of people. So I want to help you out with that. In this presentation, we're going to discover how to do all of these. So our agenda is learning the value of networking. We're going to cover the value of networking. There's value in networking that's not related directly to selling to your clients. There's a purpose to networking that is just more than talking to meeting new people too. There's a purpose to it that you need to know when you're going into these business networking events. And if you're intimidated by networking because you don't think you have any value, I'm here to let you know what to do. The value of networking is everything. So bring your value to the networking. Number two, the next thing, we're going to discover your ideal referral partners. We're going to discover we're going to talk about how to discover those referral partners. Next, I'll share some tips on building authentic rapport with others. And then finally, we'll talk about virtual networking etiquette. You're watching this virtually. There's a lot of virtual networking going on. There's things that you can do to improve your chances of being remembered, being received very well in networking events. And we're going to talk about that. So in my experience, I've categorized networking into three different phases. Because I've noticed that there are certain things that you do in phase one, phase two, and phase three. And when you discover what they are, you can move quicker through those phases and get to the ideal clients that you're looking for. The first one is the discovery phase. The discovery phase is when you're trying to identify who will add value to your business. You're very new, just like anything else in our life, we discover that there's networking and we're not sure what it is that we need. So when you're in this phase, you're learning. You spend the most time here trying to figure out how to be in networking spaces. You know that networking is important for your business. It's going to be a game changer for you. You know that. You know that you need to talk to people, but you don't know what about. You don't know who you need to talk to. And it seems like networking is understood, but it's never really explained exactly how to go about it to you. So in this phase, you're discovering networking, discovering everything about networking. The next phase is the intentional phase. You enter networking events and one-on-one conversations knowing who you need to meet, and you're certain of the value that you bring. You know what your services are, you know how you can help another person, help other business owners, but you are not easily able to identify those people that might make great collaboration partners or people that might need your services. So you know you go into a networking event for something related to your business, but you don't know who can deliver that because you're not quite sure or what they can deliver. This is your intentional phase. And then finally, your strategic phase. This is the final phase where you basically reach some networking mastery. You're very strategic about when you enter networking events. Networking events and one on one conversations are easy for you because you know who you're looking for. You know what value you bring, you know how you can help others, and you know exactly what it is that you're looking for in others. You know the characteristics of the people that might be able to help you in your journey. You also aren't afraid to ask for what you need. You aren't afraid to play the long game, essentially creating a partnership, and you're not working towards selling to the person right away. You know that if you have the services that they need, they will be interested in you. You know what they look like, whether they can be your collaboration partner or your client. So you focus on developing the relationship. And when you're here, when you're here, you are likely a really great connector. You're likely a really, really great connector, and people come to you for support. So, being the strategic phase. Now, right now, if you're viewing this, it might be likely that you're in the discovery phase. So, let's talk about how we can get out of the discovery phase as quickly as possible. You want to move into the intentional phase where you're knowing exactly who you're looking for, what services that you provide, and you're more easily able to connect with people that can support you in your business. So let's talk about how to get out of this discovery phase. The way you get out of the discovery phase is learning these four things you need to do. Your primary objectives are to learn how you provide value. I know value is a bit of a buzzword. It's a buzzword. Value doesn't really mean monetary exchange. Value can mean any number of things. So I'll get to that in just a minute. But remember that value is not dollars and cents, it can be something else. So we need to shift our mindset around what value is. Because when we believe that all we can receive is money or make a sale, we miss out on the opportunity to gain another's value. We miss out on the opportunity to really connect and show our value. The next thing you want to do is learn who wants your services. Be able to identify the characteristics. What do they sound like? What situations do they find themselves in? You need to be able to know that to get out of this discovery phase. You also need to learn how to describe your services. You have to clearly and concisely state what your services are in a way that the person you're talking to understands you. And the reason why you want to do this is because they may want to buy from you, but also they have to be able to tell another person about your services. If you can't do that, you're going to be stuck in the discovery phase. For example, I help people make meaningful connections in their personal and professional life. It's something that's short and simple and understandable. This is what I do, and I can talk about exactly who the people are that need my services. That need my services. And the last thing you want to do is to be able to determine the other person's value, another's value. So sizing them up. That sounds quite like you're challenging them or something, but you just want to observe and know more about what they do. Essentially, you want to be able to figure out how they can benefit you and how you can benefit them, but determining their value. So perhaps you meet someone who is also a business coach. Is I like to connect with business coaches because they work with solopreneurs. And part of the being a business coach is that you stick to a schedule, and you also advise you advise your clients to actually go out and network. And perhaps it could be that some business coaches aren't really great at networking, and they would send them to me. I'd love to be able to collaborate with those people. So you want to determine the other person's value. Maybe you may not need their services for you. Perhaps there is a connection that you can have. You have to be able to determine that. So that's how you get out of discovery phase. So as I said, let's talk about the value of networking. The value of networking. So like I said, value is kind of a buzzword. It's important, but it's kind of a buzzword in the sense that you have to bring value, value, value. What is value? Well, value doesn't necessarily mean monetary exchange. Value could be any number of things. And when we believe that all we can receive is money or make a sale, we miss out on the opportunity to gain another's value. So I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this. Okay? Whatever stage you're in, that be it discovery, intentional, or strategic, whatever stage you're in, whenever you go into a networking meeting, your goal is always, always, always to practice clearly demonstrating the value that you bring. So what if you don't know your value? You're going to be in trouble. You have to clearly demonstrate the value that you bring. If you don't know it, you're going to be in trouble. So that's why I have 5 ways that you can provide value for the person that you're networking with. 5 different ways that they're going to remember you and be interested in you. Okay. The first one is collaboration. When you network with others, networking will provide an opportunity for you to connect with other business partners, professionals, and potential partners, right? Collaborations can lead to new projects, joint ventures, and mutually beneficial partnerships that can expand your business offerings and reach. So, collaboration is a value that you can bring to your network. You can bring to the person in front of you. That is, you can help them if you have a podcast, you can work together on a podcast, or if they have a podcast and they're looking for guests, you can be a guest on their podcast. If you can clearly articulate the work that you do, they will be interested. There's an opportunity for collaboration. There's an opportunity to go live together. There's an opportunity to do a campaign of some sort together if your businesses are pretty aligned. For me, I've networked with 30 different coaches to organize the annual Social Connection Summit that I had in September. That was just me meeting people on calls, telling them about the work that I did, and asking them if they would be interested in uplifting their brand by collaborating with me and 29 other people, right? So you offer them an opportunity and they all want exposure. So collaboration is one way that you can bring value to the person you're talking to. Next is brand awareness. Increased visibility and brand awareness is the way to bring anybody into your network. Everybody wants to be known. So what we do when we're networking and we create brand awareness is that we build relationships to share our expertise so people become more aware of what we do. And it was just one person. But when you tell one person, they may tell a bunch of other people. So while you're in this networking event and they share with you who they are and what it is that they do, because they're building this brand awareness, they share it with you, you share it with other people. You say, oh, I know this great guy who does websites, or I know someone who is a business consultant. You know them and you can refer them to other people. That word of mouth is very powerful. So while you're sitting in this networking event or this one-on-one conversation, they get to expand their brand awareness. Just to you, one person, but who knows what you'll do. In fact, for me, I have different networking events that I attend, and every week on my newsletter, I send out a different networking event. That increases the brand awareness or the exposure of the person who introduced me to this event in the first place. They may not know it's happening, but I do. And I think it provides value. So you may never know what happens when you share your information, you connect with someone, what happens when they connect with you and share their brand awareness. So if you were to take their information and share it on social media, you are boosting them and creating brand awareness for them. So say that they have an event that's coming up and you offer to share that on social media, that's a win. That's value that you've added. So keep that in mind. All right, professional development. Professional development, you can tap into their knowledge, you can get advice, resources, and they can do the same with you. And it can be really valuable for problem solving, innovation, improving your business processes, and so on. I've learned about I've learned that about what people do to follow up with potential clients and nurture relationships by networking with other people. I've learned how to write interesting emails and marketing services from people who are willing to share on networking calls. So I've learned all this really great information from others who are experts in their fields. I've connected with marketers and they shared this is what you can do. This is what you can do to get more engagement. Why don't you go live? Why don't you write an email? I mean, you're how you capture emails and things like that. I've learned so much from just talking to other professionals. And guess what? It leads right back into their brand awareness so that they know, so I know what they do and I can speak to it. But it also helps me in a professional way. So there's something out there that you do, whatever you're an expert in, and they come to you and you have a suggestion for them, share that. Share that suggestion for them. You will provide value for them. Next, support and encouragement. This is a big one because running your business is hard. It's really difficult, especially if you're a solopreneur and you're doing a lot of this on your own. It's really difficult. So what you want to do is make sure that you give them support and encouragement if it seems like they're having a hard time. If they have a success, make sure to celebrate that with them because sharing challenges, sharing experiences and successes can provide emotional support and encouragement during difficult times. You know, if you just share a difficult moment with someone who's having a hard time, or you share a moment with someone who's having a hard time, it can make them feel less alone. And they will remember that because running a business is not easy. And you can find yourself feeling alone quite a bit. So, support and encouragement. If you provide that for someone who's having a difficult time and some insight, perhaps if they ask for it, you will be remembered. You will be remembered. All right. Finally, marketing insights and feedback. So, networking exposes you to a diverse audience, including potential customers, right? So, there might be people that are interested in your services and they might be confused about what you're sharing with them. So, if you have a problem with your pitch, essentially, if you have a problem saying exactly what it is that you do in a clear and concise manner so that they understand you, if they were interested in your services, they wouldn't know they wouldn't know what you're selling, but they may have some questions for you to help you figure it out. They may ask you some questions and you would be able to clear it up. So I had this experience with someone named Dan Fitzgerald. He runs a technology business in Texas, and he really helped me with my name with social connections coaching and business culture coaching because I had wanted to cater to a certain audience, which is a corporation audience or organizations and business owners of who had teams of let's say 5 to 10. I wanted to change my business to speak to them, and he is a business owner who fit my demographic of a group of 5 to 10 people. He did know what a social connections coach was, but when I changed it to business culture coaching, he understood. We actually talked about this in our networking call. And he gave me this really great advice. And guess what? Here I am mentioning Dan Fitzgerald, who runs a technology business in Texas, on this webinar, live on this webinar, because it was so impactful and important to me. And it's changed my business. So you may be able to add value to others in that same way. If you hear something that really doesn't make sense to you and you want to get clarification, then do that. Can say, if I'm your ideal target market, this doesn't make sense to me, or this is how I feel about it. It gives them really great marketing insights, really great feedback that they're going to use. I really thank you out there, Dan Fitzgerald. So those are 5 ways that you can really provide value for the people that you meet in networking calls so that they'll remember you. Next, know, like, and trust. The goal of networking is to build relationships or have lasting impacts like the one Dan and countless others have had on me. You want to make sure that when you show your expertise that they see value in opening up your network to you, opening up their network to you. This means that you have to demonstrate competency. They must know what you do, who you serve, and how you help. If you do not know those things, it's going to be difficult for you to network. And that's okay. We're in discovery phase. We're learning more about how we can do that. We're learning more about how we can do that. So, know, like, and trust. Let's talk about know, like, and trust. So, here are 3 ways that you can build a know, like, and trust factor. 1, the first way. Well, remember the different opportunities that you have to provide value. Everyone you meet is going to have a problem and you might be able to help with. So it could be a problem that they're unaware of, but remember the different opportunities that you have to provide value. That is collaboration, brand awareness, professional development, support and engagement, market insights, and feedback. The quicker you can identify how you can provide value, the better rapport that you can build. If you're going to a one-on-one meeting, I recommend that you research them, learn something about them, check the links on the website, discover things that they may have overlooked that might lead to a poor customer experience. Then you can provide that information to them. You can provide some kind of value to them and help them and build that know, like, and trust factor already. The next, as I said, research them. You can build rapport with them, research them. Instead of talking about the weather, instead of talking about where you live, talk about how you grew up in the same state or maybe you traveled a lot. If you research them, you'll know a little bit about you. Look for those commonalities. Look for those commonalities so you can break the ice with something other than asking about the weather or how are you, right? You can also ask about their experiences. They want to share with you if you demonstrate genuine curiosity. You can already start to feel a rapport build, can't you? They're like curious about what's going on with you. How was your day? Things like that. If you ask a more specific and intriguing question, you can connect with them. What I recommend if you're in a virtual networking group and you want to build rapport with others, if you're in a virtual networking group, after a breakout session, when the host asks if there's anything else you want to say, do not look around to see if anybody else is raising their hand. Make sure that you say something. Make sure that after you leave a breakout session, you raise your hand and make sure that you say something. And don't talk about yourself. We're talking about building rapport with others. Don't talk about yourself. Give somebody else a shout out. You will demonstrate that you're not in competition with each other, that you're looking out for the other guy, and that you carry an abundance mindset. You're looking out to help other people, and other people will see that. It's not all about you. It's not about you and your services, but they'll be attracted and interested in you because you are going to help them. You're going to help them, right? You're going to help somebody else get spotlighted and say something genuine. Don't just make up something lame. Say something genuine about them. Maybe the way they behaved in the breakout session. Maybe they asked really great questions. Maybe they kept time really well. Maybe you think that they have a really interesting business. Share that. Share that and let people know about that because we don't want ourselves to be the one tooting our own horn or talking about our own things. But if you are the one expressing, you are doing them a favor and people are going to look at you like you're a great person because you have an abundance mindset. So that's one way to build, that's 2 ways to build know, like, and trust. And then we have the demonstrate trustworthiness and competency. Finally, to boost your know, like, and trust factor, demonstrate your competency. So this is what you do when you connect with anybody, meet anyone in a one-on-one, you have to demonstrate your trustworthiness and competency. They're not going to trust you if you don't do what you say you're going to do. So take action, make a plan to take action on their behalf and actually do it. Whether you're introducing them to a new person or inviting them to an event or showing up at one of their events, be clear about what you will do and then execute on it. Be clear about what you will do and then execute on it. I wanted to say that again because often we just kind of leave that behind. But be clear about what you will do and execute on it. Introduce them to another person in your network that you think might be a good fit. Maybe invite them to a different networking event or one of your events. Maybe you'll show up at one of their events and be clear about doing those things. So if I'm going to introduce you to another person, I'll say I'm doing it tomorrow morning and I'll do that. I want to make sure that I do that, or I'll do it tomorrow. I want to make sure that I communicate to you what I'm going to do and when. It's important to say what and when because we don't just want to wander. I'll introduce you to somebody whenever, sometime next week. That's that's kind of like it seems like a bit of an afterthought, and it seems less intentional. So be more precise about what you're going to do, and then execute on it. All right, right now we have come to the questions and answer, the Q&A session of this, the Q&A session. And if you have any questions, I see some no questions right now. No questions right now. That's fine. This is my first Q&A. This is my first one. And it's going to take a minute for y'all to get to know me. I'm pretty sure. All right. So this is it. Let's see. Q&A code. So, I talk about networking quite a bit, and I want to show, network with us. Boom, network with us. This is a Q&A session. Q&A. I also wanted to share with you that there's a networking group that I organize, networking slash mind mastermind group, networking slash mastermind group. So join us in building more meaningful relationships and connecting authentically. We meet every first Thursday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time. If you're interested in joining us, just hit that little the QR code. Get the QR code. Come check us out. If you are a business owner who wants to learn how to build more rapport with others, we teach how to do that. We talk about how to do that. We talk about the things that we're struggling with in our business, and we get some support with that. We also do introductions to each other. If you don't know how to do introductions, if you're not sure about identifying the value that you have, if you're really stuck in this discovery phase and you want to move out it sooner than later, then come to this networking event and get the information that you need. I also have a I also have, let's hide that. Oh, I like this. All right. So check out that the CEO's networking group. You can also come to our, you can also check out our community where we do this a little more intentionally. So we have access to each other and we can talk to each other. I have some courses, I have a free course that encompasses a lot of what I'm talking about here, but takes it to a new level about how to find the value in what you do and about how to articulate that to other people, as well as practicing it with each other. We also network with each other in this community. So if you're looking to build networks with like-minded individuals, people who are interested in the same kinds of things, the same drive and the abundance mindset, that attitude towards making more meaningful connections. If you want to be in a place with people who want to take your business to the next level, help you elevate, collaborate, this is the place to be. The Patterns of Possibility community, check that out. My link is right there. Linktree, Patterns of Possibility. Check it out. I have all kinds of amazing things that are happening there. But for your Q&A, a lot of questions. No questions today. No questions today. That's cool. That's fine. Let's continue. Let's continue on then. Let's continue on. Captions. Oops, let's get rid of that. Wonderful. I just love this new tool. It's really awesome. It's really great to use it. But all right, so the Q&A. Well, I wanted to talk about some quality meetings. So people who are go-givers and they want to help you, um, those are some quality meetings. Like what, how do you discover what is a quality meeting? Well, people who are go-givers and good connectors are people who want to help you. So if you're looking for good quality meetings, you have to ask others when you're in a call with them. That's how you find these good quality meetings. When you meet someone that you're networking with and you have a nice connection, ask them if they network and where do they go. If you have a great vibe with others, make sure to ask them, right? Make sure to ask them. And remember that they want to help you because it boosts your brand. So you want to talk to people. You want to be upfront and open and honest about your issues because they want to help you in your brand. Some signs of quality meetings is that they talk about building relationships rather than gathering leads. They talk about building relationships rather than gathering leads because everybody wants to be helped. Everybody wants some help. Everybody wants to help in that capacity. So knowing that is going to help you open up your network, open up their network to you. If you want to help them, if you want to help them, then they're likely to get on the call with you. But if you want to sell to them, they're not interested. They're likely not going to be interested, and it's going to be hard to get in there. So if you go to networking meetings that talk about building relationships, then you're in a good spot. Next, these kinds of meetings encourage one-on-one conversations. They talk about having one-on-ones. They don't say go out and sell to each other, but go build conversations, go build networks of people, go provide value on one-on-one conversations, right? So that's how you do it. Those are one of those quality networking meetings. You know that you're in a quality networking meeting if they constantly talk about supporting each other. They talk about what's important to you or what you should share what's important to you. You should all share with each other and help each other grow as business owners. Because it's a fact that if you give, you'll get. You give, you'll get. And these quality networking meetings, they know that. And finally, you can find these networking meetings or quality meetings on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, or word of mouth. But I didn't want to leave you without knowing some of these quality meetings themselves. As a bonus, I wanted to share some quality meetings, some networking groups that I've discovered. And these meetings have their own unique style and the quality, they're quality networking events to me because they emphasize relationships or they provide some kind of value. They talk about learning and growing from each other. They may even have a speaker in which one networking guru or a business owner who's successful will share their tips. So always great to learn something new. These are really great places to go. The Joint Mixer with the Grand Connection is hosted by Jason Van Orden on Thursdays. Jason Van Orden and someone else whose name is escaping me right now, but they meet on third Thursdays at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And then there's Veets hosted by Matt Dubois. They're based in California. Really great. I know they have events I think just about every day or 5 days a week. But their biggest one is on the first Fridays. So check them out, 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Really great. You're going to meet a lot of great people there. At least 50 people show up there. And then there's Polarizing Networking. This one is on the first and third Thursdays from 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time to 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That's not correct, actually. I think that it is actually 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time on first and third Thursdays. So it's 10 a.m. Apologies for that. 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. And it's really lively. That's the way I can describe it. But you will learn a whole lot. If you're afraid to share the value of what you do, you're going to learn not to do that here. You're going to learn how important it is to share your value here. So I highly recommend you go check it out, have that experience. All right. And finally, let's connect. I love to connect with you. So I invited you to practice networking with me. My value proposition really is to help you. So like I said, I'm going to practice everything I preach. As I said, the value that I bring is to pour into you. I want to demonstrate that when I get on a call with you. I'm going to demonstrate that I can pour into you and help you get to where you need to go. I'm not trying to sell you. I just want to let you know what awesome work that I can do so that perhaps you will share it with another person. That is the goal. So feel free to connect with me. So by the end of I encourage you to jump on a call with me, have a casual conversation as it shows down at the bottom. Um, Calendly/patterns of possibility/casual conversation. Just get on my calendar. Let's have a nice conversation about what your business is going through. I invite you to practice and talk about some of the struggles that you might have with growing your business, and I'd be happy to support you. So, also, when you book with me, you'll be able to check out my CRM, or you'll be able to check out my Calendly, the kind of questions that I ask, so that I can learn about you, so that I can build rapport. So, take a look at that and see what I do, and copy it, take it, and use it for your own benefit. Use it to start building relationships with others. All right. All right. Now, I want to tell you again about the CEOs Networking Group. It's really dope. We're CEOs because we believe in collaboration, education, opportunity leads to success. Collaboration, education, opportunity lead to your success. And this is what we'll do together. We'll gain trust and support. We'll educate each other about our business practices. We'll create opportunities so you refer others. You network with others. You introduce others, and then you grow your business the way you want. However successful you want to be will help you get there. And I also have an online community that I organize. It's the Patterns of Possibility community. It's for personal relationships and professional relationships. On the personal side, we want to move past small talk and move to more bigger, authentic conversations. And this is how you're going to do it. It's like building rapport in your professional relationships. And I also have a complimentary personal connections course, absolutely free. Take it free of charge. Take it when you join the community. And I also have live Q&As and social events like speed friending. So if you're trying to boost your personal relationships, this is the place to do it. I'm also on the professional side. There's a professional component where you can meet supportive, like-minded solopreneurs, like small business owners. You can have a complimentary solopreneurs course, and there's that brainstorming and collaboration monthly mastermind that I talked about, the CEOs Networking Group. The CEOs Networking Group, this is us right here. The CEOs, Chicago-based, because that's where I am. Chicago-based, we meet on first Thursdays at 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time to 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time. You have an opportunity to talk about your business, get some questions answered, get the support that you need. If you're interested in any of this, please feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me or check out this right here. Feel free to reach out to me or check out my link dropped right here, Parents of Possibility, Linktree/Parents of Possibility. I have all of my links in there. I even have an upcoming event that I'd like to share with you. Have always something going on to help you build more meaningful relationships. And all of the stuff is free. Free stuff. I believe in giving, as I said. So right here, I'm going to show you the Friends with Family. So Friends with Family Q&A is the next thing that's coming up this Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I'm going to answer all your questions related to being friends with family. So if you don't know, there's a course that I have out called Friends with Family. And it's all about creating more meaningful connections with your family members. So it's really difficult to talk to them at times about things that are important to you because they're not listening to you. They don't listen to you. And you want to be heard. Perhaps you're tired of being stuck with them. Like you go home, they'll invite you to come home, and I'm talking to people who are essentially moved out of the house. They're adults away from their parents. They're adults away from their adult siblings and stuff. And it just seems like there's always turmoil when it comes to connecting with them. And I want to help you figure that stuff out. So if you're an adult who is having this difficulty, like reconnecting or connecting with your family, perhaps they'll invite you home for the holidays, but then they'll criticize everything about the way your life is going. They don't demonstrate that they understand you or interested in you. They're always questioning your decisions. This course or this class is for you. It's a 4 week course, absolutely free on demand. But what I do is each week I will do a free or a live Q&A session. So on Saturdays I do a live Q&A session. This week we're talking about discussing difficult drama. Last week was discussing the um, was discovering the causes of disconnection. So, what are those things that frustrate you about your relationships with your family members? We talk about that. And then this week, we're going to talk about how to talk about that, how to address it, or how to address when they say something that just upsets you so much. And I want to warn you that this is not therapy. I'm not a coach. I just want to throw that out there. This is not therapy. I'm a coach. I help people make meaningful connections, and I talk about my own experiences and what's worked for me and my mom. We've been estranged for years upon years, and we reconnected when I started to change my behavior, when I started to change my habits, and they started to change themselves as well. So we made this beautiful connection, and I firmly believe that others out there can do just the same. If you want more information about this or anything that I've talked about right here, just click this link. Just go to this link, Patterns of Possibility, or this is Linktree. That's all my links in there with upcoming events and the Friends with Family, this presentation, the Chicago CEOs, the CEOs Networking Group. Come check us out. But I want to thank you so much for your time here. It's been great to connect with you, and we'll do this again Saturday. I'll see you then.